Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Peace on the Streets radio show. And I'm your boy, Prince of the Sun.
Oh, and your girl, Mimi Malawi.
And your Leva, what's up, everybody?
We want to thank everybody tuning in, and we got people just tuning in all around the world.
Yeah.
So we want to give a shout out to the people that's tuning in from Memphis, Tennessee. Mimi, you go.
Oh, I got California right now. Oh.
Neil, who you got?
All over the world. Thank you guys for watching, listening, and everything. All the above. Y'all are beautiful.
Orlando, Florida. Apaka, Florida.
Miami,
yes, indeed.
Tampa.
Leesburg.
Hey.
Yeah. New York City.
California, baby.
Yeah. They're listening. And we got to give a shout out to our artist named Gavin. He's listening right now from California.
Hey,
what?
California love, baby.
Let's go. Viva Mexico for my boys in Mexico.
Hey.
And to my family that's listening in, I've been sending out our how to listen to the show to everybody.
There you go.
Because they was like they couldn't do it, so T hooked us up. Hey, T, how you doing,
T.
girl? All right, baby, thank you for hooking us up. So I'm able to send them out to everybody. They click on the link and they able to tune right in. So my dad, if he's listening in, him and Mrs. Barbara from out of Memphis, Tennessee. So we got a hot show tonight, you guys.
Don't we have you Wednesday? Come on.
There you go.
I mean, so one of the hot topics that we'll talk about is Beyonce.
Okay.
She went country. She saying she wants some of that country money. That's why she had that white on.
It kind of makes sense because she's been,
so funny.
every time she showcases herself, she's wearing like a cowboy hat or a little tassel or something like
But
that.
the cowboy industry ain't too happy.
Really?
Yeah, they saying that her song that she sung at the Super Bowl, it wasn't enough country in it.
Okay.
But guess what? But she's topping the charts.
I don't
She's
even
making a
remember that
lot of
song.
money.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I just remember the Usher.
I didn't like it. It was they wasn't. But and I like country, but she's just starting. But guess what? She's selling like crazy. They saying she's already finna get ready for awards and all that.
She's a
on
universal
her
singer.
first.
Though, like it doesn't matter what she sings. It's
She
gonna-
becomes the first black woman to top country charts with Texas Hold'em.
Okay.
That's the name of the song, Texas Hold'em.
That's awesome.
So she's the first black woman. So a lot of
First
stuff
black
come
woman.
with that.
She's already breaking records. Oh.
Yeah, you go Beyonce, you do your thing, girl.
Yeah.
Just don't do the them symbols and stuff.
Yeah, well, while talking about New York residents, we got to talk about our favorite boy, Donald Trump. Come on now.
Wow.
He's getting sued into oblivion, my man.
Is he still?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
continuing?
But-
Oh, he got hit hard.
What?
300 and some million.
Yeah, and an extra 80 million on top, and they're threatening to take his stuff if
Oh,
he don't pay.
no.
Like he
he's-
done messed up.
Who?
The state. What happened is that they're going after him. The government is going after him. And because he done did too much and said too much but guess what? A lot of
crazy.
businesses is pulling out of New York. Because what they're saying is that to get someone the eviction, they don't like a lot of landlords don't like the eviction, how long it take you to get a tenant out. Sometimes it take up to 2 years.
It can, honestly, and I know it's 30 days, if I'm not mistaken.
It's supposed to be 30 days.
Once they're there for 30 days, it's a wrap. But it's something
It's
they sneak
supposed to
in.
be.
And if they sneak in, how can you find out? Like, how can you prove that?
Well, what they're saying is that, I rent to you, and then you never pay. By the time it go to the court system, and then if it gets cold outside in New York, you can't put people out in the snow. So they got to wait all that time.
There are people, though, that can live in a house and get mail, and for 30 days, that means they're a resident. And
Exactly.
you can't kick them out, and then you have to go through the court process.
And they saying that's one of the reasons investors are leaving. And plus,
Yes.
what they
I'll
said
get
what
that. I
Trump did is that he said that his stuff was worth 300 million or 300 billion, whatever. But it was really worth this. But they say that investors does this all the time.
Of course they do.
They saying
They
so.
do.
But it's illegal still.
Yeah, it's
It
still
is.
illegal. Like
Yeah,
They
it's
end up on
still not legal.
American
greed.
greed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens, right? You get too greedy, you get too
That's what it
cocky.
is.
Are
and
they
you
taking the
slipped
Trump
up.
stuff
Yeah.
down?
Not yet. I don't think so.
Okay,
Until,
I heard that one of the
until
bills that they
he-
can't take down, but
he still has a chance to pay, right? Like he if he doesn't pay, then they start taking his stuff.
So, but he got a fund that he's raising money.
You saw him open up with the shoe collection.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
missing
God!
these things.
Yo,
What happened, man?
he opened up with knockoff Jordans that were like white, gold,
Gold
and red.
with
Wait,
red
he's
bottoms.
wearing
With red
And they red bottoms. They was $400.
And-
He sold 1,000. Just like that.
But everybody at the event was booing him. Like, straight up, they were like, boo. Yeah. Like, come on, bro. Like, see, dude, it's so ridiculous. Come on. Like, you know you're down bad when you go from, like, being Donald Trump.
Wait, this is
like,
Trump they booed?
Yeah. Because, I mean, he's trying to sell you knockoff kicks to be able to pay his court fees, dog. Yeah. He's looking silly.
That's funny.
I know.
So
he's starting to look
like that. I didn't know that. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, he's starting to look silly.
But guess what?
Right now.
Not to his fans. His fans is saying they're going to line him up.
Those people are cultists anyway, bro. Like, you
can't. Is this all on purpose?
Yeah.
I mean, look, like Trump's got like that core of people that's just gonna ride with him, even if he literally goes and shoots somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Like he said.
There's literally a portion of people.
He said it.
He said it.
Because people are like, you know how people get. They like to follow. They like to,
he
be
speaks
led.
the truth. I'm gonna keep it real. He speaks the truth. Y'all know that.
It's some things that he's mad.
You're right.
It's like sometimes.
You're right.
He just has that.
A little bit.
He talks like us,
man.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. He talks like us. He actually like talks
he said he wasn't.
Yeah, he's not afraid to talk because like when you listen to politicians, they're like, no, listen, it's
he is really loose.
This and smart me. So when he talks, it at least comes off as like likable.
But it's live. But it's lies because they say they do. I mean, why your president have to have a lie check?
Maybe.
Is he lying or telling the truth?
Yeah.
They got a lie check for him saying lies.
But he says things that are so straightforward, like
it is, but they lies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight up.
The things he says, like if I kill somebody, they'll still like me. Yeah, like that. I mean, that's
so
real.
funny.
Like I'm telling you,
That's
like
so
the
real.
way he feels, it's the truth. Does that make sense?
Like
he's in character too.
He's honest. Like he's like honest with how he is. That's why I'm, and I get that he is.
And remember, he's in character.
That too.
He's in Trump character.
He was on movies. He was on the TV show forever.
He's playing that rich guy role and you peasants. And he's playing his role.
Straight up.
And he's been in. He knows how to act.
And he plays a crowd, bro.
Oh,
Trump
man.
can play a crowd.
Yes,
like,
he can.
You can tell. I've watched his speeches and he'll just like he'll hit a beat. And the crowd's like, hey. So he's like, okay, let me double down on that beat. And it's like, hey.
Right. He knows how to read the crowd.
He knows how to read the crowd so well. Like, he's definitely a showman.
A genius is what he is right now.
Definitely killing the game, which is going to make it, it just makes it so funny that the guy that's like, about to go to jail is still like the #1 rep for the Republican Party.
Right.
Like, that guy is the number one, bro.
He still can get in.
He's
going to beat out the girl. She's, he want to
She ain't got a shot. She ain't got a shot, bro.
Because some people changed over saying they're going to vote with Trump because, a lot of stuff was down, like gas was down.
What would you do? Are you afraid to talk about it on air?
Oh, but hold on, we got to run out because at 9:30 we got someone coming on. We got Kizzy with Men Ain't Mening.
Yes.
You guys want to listen to this, you guys. I mean, it's a new hot segment that we have every third Wednesday of the month, and it's called Men Ain't Mening, but not men ain't mening, women ain't women.
Okay.
So, I mean,
ain't nobody doing their job, basically.
Ain't
nobody doing their job right now.
And then Mrs. Angela, she'll be on with Miss International World. You guys don't want to miss it. And we have Sports Talk.
George Michael coming back for Sports Talk.
Welcome back, George Michael.
Yeah, so it's George Michael, Brandon tonight, and we just want to give a shout out to Steven because he's feeling under the weather.
Get better, Steven.
Hey, he just informed us, so we want to make sure he gets plenty of rest because that's everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Steven is he does part of our Sports Talk, so he's not going to be in tonight.
He's a huge face of sports.
So we got plenty of things to talk about, you guys. Thanks for tuning in to Peace on the Streets. Plus, we got smooth R&B jams right here on Peace on the Streets. Next time you hear my voice, we'll have Kizzy with Men Ain't Mening. Coming up next, you guys. They say it's a right and a wrong way to love somebody, and that is right on time with our topic.
Come on.
Men ain't mening and women ain't women. Heard that men ain't mening.
I heard that.
It's women ain't women.
What do you say? Women ain't women.
Men ain't mening. So we got a special guest on, you all. She has her own podcast, and she is blowing up the airways, and she's doing what she's doing. And she loved doing what she do, and it just started just by accident. I let her tell a story.
So what does she do, Prince?
She is a motivational speaker, and she tell it like it is.
She does. And we got Kizzy in the building.
What's up, Kizzy?
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
We're here. We're alive. And we're blessed. Thanks be to God.
Yes, and we're happy to have you on tonight.
Well, it is absolutely my pleasure to come in and share a little information about a little bit of everything, as we say.
Okay, so tell us who you are for the listeners for the first time that's listening in. And we want to give a shout out to Minnesota. Minnesota's in the building. What's up, Minnesota?
Hey, Minnesota.
What's
hey.
going on, Cindy?
We got Memphis tuned in, too. So anyway.
Oh, hey, Memphis.
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you come up with Men Ain't Menin'?
Who I am. All right. Well, I am Kizzy. Men Ain't Menin' came up on accident. It was one bizarre September, about a year and a half ago.
Oh, boy.
And somebody made a post, and I just simply commented on the post. And from the comment, I made a post, and I asked the real men to check in because men ain't menin'. And that post went bananas. So in response to all the inboxes and all the comments, I went live on a Tuesday night in the middle of Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
It's the best.
And so we just had a discussion as to why I say the things that I was saying, and it was based off of the original post that one of my Facebook friends had made. And I was just like, I'm not getting on here to do this with y'all every Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. And they kind of asked me to continue to do it, so I genuinely have to take Taco Tuesday during the day and sit and chat with them on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's too funny, and I love it. And I love
her
both.
show is live. It's all the way live, you guys. I mean, with us, we have regulations and things like that.
Perimeters.
I hear you. So they can get in.
Oh, we can just be real, and that's what we like about it. We like to be, and even on our show, y'all know we keep it 100.
All the time.
And
what you hear is who we are and what we say.
For better or worse sometimes.
And we stand on our principles and the things that we, you know what I'm saying? And we might not agree, but after a while, we listen to all of us and see what we come up with. And, hey, it works out.
That's the beauty of it.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, Men Ain't Menin'. So, I know she has a segment every Monday. So
Tuesday.
It's every Tuesday. Tell us about your segment.
Our segment last night was on submissiveness. I think men don't know what that means, or they assume it means one thing and it means something else. And I also have found, like, every time I share a post, I make sure that I'm sharing a post that a man authored. Because men will try to jump on a post and try to argue with me. And I'll be like, no, I'm a woman. Go argue with the man that wrote this. And then they'd be like, okay, never mind. Right. And then they'd be like, okay, never mind. So you want to argue with me as a woman, but not the person who wrote it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And so I also found out that they really don't know what an alpha female is. I see all these comments. An alpha female, she might as well be a male. Y'all don't know what that means.
That's crazy. That means you wasn't around a strong woman. Just because she's strong, that means that what they saying, she might as well be a man. Hold on, y'all. It's a real big difference between a man and a woman.
And you know that I've been told that, but I've been told that here in the South. I've never heard it up north. That's where we're from, New York.
Okay. To be perfectly honest with you, if you're going to use it, the right place to use it is basically in the workplace, because the characteristics of an alpha female have nothing to do with not listening to her man.
Oh, that's what they think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, break it down. What is an alpha female?
An alpha female possesses certain characteristic traits. She's competent. She's highly intelligent. She generally takes on a leadership role. She's not strong-minded to the point where it's like, I'm not going to listen to a man. It's just, it means she's determined to succeed or complete a task as simply as that. And for some reason, men think that term means she wants to do everything that he does.
Yeah, or she doesn't need him.
Right.
Right.
But, sometimes women have had to take the role where they had to stand up in the paint and do both roles. Like,
they're doing it now. They're single mothers.
Yeah.
I mean, hello. But it's just like, that's foolish to think that way. That means that there's some sort of insecurity there, because if you really know the term, and if you don't, just look it up. But it does mean a strong, a strong, successful woman.
Really, right?
Wouldn't you want someone that has passion instead of someone that's a bum and just sitting there?
Yeah, right. True that. And it's good to have a little grit behind yourself and say, well, hold on, man. I don't need you. You can kick rocks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
you don't want them too
right.
clingy, right?
You don't want, no, man.
Yeah.
Because I know some guys, they sit around, bro, and they would not go to work because they too busy watching their woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Everybody know.
Crazy.
It don't take all day to do nothing. If she wants to do something, or he want to do something, I can meet you up at the store. I'm going to Kroger. I'm going to Publix. It don't take number 2-3 minutes, baby. Passion and bam, hey, you going up by yourself, and baby, don't forget the lettuce. You know.
That's the passion.
Right.
I'm not sitting watching nobody not going to work. I wasn't cut from that cloth. My dad, he always went to work. He like, I don't give a damn what y'all do. I'm out here. I'm going to make money, So that's how I roll.
That's a horrible way to live.
Though.
I just think that's horrible.
No, yeah, that's too much to be up somebody's butt like that.
And with her, she travels.
Yeah, I do. I do travel, but I don't understand the woman that sits there and allows him to do it. That's the part that blows my mind. So men ain't just about male bashing.
Right.
Because nobody's safe.
Right.
Not even me.
It's true. We're only
Not
human.
even me. Not even me.
And the thing
I
is,
do stuff sometimes.
Yeah, so that's what your show was about, submissiveness. And some women are saying, you want me to submit to you, but you ain't giving me no women like security. To know that I'm financially secure, if something happens, he got my back. He meant it then, you know what I'm saying? And not during the time that you just happy with her. Sometimes you still have to take care of them, even if you're mad at them. But your responsibility still remains, still goes on. Some guys be playing with the money. Well, you made me mad last night. I ain't getting you no money on bills.
That's horrible. If they live it like that, it's just saying like it's we're human.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people don't even understand what submissiveness is. It's not about you telling me I got to cook and clean and wash and fold and a couple of other things. It's me simply being able to humbly disagree.
Right.
It is simply that simple. It means that I'm going to allow you to feel how you want to feel as a man, say what you want to say, and look at what wants to happen. And I'm just supposedly say, honey, I don't agree with that. What I think is this. That's submissiveness.
Okay. Right. Yep.
Not with me, you say something to me, and I'll be like, I'm not doing none of that. That's not submissiveness. It's all about the words that you use and the tone that you take.
Yep. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
A lot of
how
ladies aren't down with that, though. Like you said, it's it can be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I was the problem once.
Because
I agree.
Some people have been raised with a strong parent or whatever, and a female, and then they might be bashing men all the time. So guess what? I mean, some men ain't gonna never be good enough. In a relationship, it's a give and take.
Right.
It's a serious give and take, and you have to pick your battles. I like me. It's hard to get an argument out of me. I'm not, man. Shit, I'm sorry. We got to get a song in, guys. We got to get a song in. We're going to be back with Men Ain't Men, and we got some hot topics. Y'all guys call in 407
894-1680. Again, 407-894-1680. DJ Prince of the South will pick up the line himself. And you don't want to leave. We have more conversation with Menning, with Kizzy in the building.
Y'all keep it locked to peace on the street.
Let's go.
What a tragic story with Marvin Gaye. The way he came, where he left. His dad wound up killing him. Such great talent. The one and only, you guys, a great Marvin Gaye.
That's how he died. I know that. Yeah. Make sure Enyo's mic is on.
Yeah.
I know that it was
crazy.
Pretty. I know a lot of these old school people have died tragically.
Drugs.
Yeah.
He was on drugs during that time. He was going through a lot.
What happened? Was it drugs?
When him and his dad got into it, and then something happened.
It was just an argument?
An argument. He wound up killing, and
Damn.
He shot him or something?
He shot him.
God.
Damn.
Yep, he shot him and killed him.
Yeah.
But he was fighting his demons, and both of them, they couldn't get along. His dad, he said he never could please his dad.
Wow.
Nothing
That's
he
sad.
did would never, dad really didn't never go to none of his shows and none of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it was a sad situation. But then what happened is that we don't know what his dad been through.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I understand.
You don't know
but
how he
but
was
you
raised.
could correct it. You could change the game. You could change that. I'm just saying, like, break that curse, if
It's
you want
hard.
to call it.
Hard.
I know it is. Like, it's a battle of a lifetime, probably. But you just you break that curse. Just break it.
Yeah.
You try.
Right.
But that's a sad story. So he died in prison. His dad.
Yeah, his dad passed in prison.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Tragic.
but this music still lives on.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
it's not about just what you're doing
That
now.
lives forever.
Yeah, it lives forever. So that's why they said put out good and positive vibes, and then that way
Where's
your
that
legacy
good
is.
feeling R&B like that, man? That that.
What happened to it? You think, Kidsy? The good love songs and all that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, what had happened with the? I guess how you feel about the music today? Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, Lord. You must got some shay-shay. That little sip.
Some, the majority of it, I do not listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I have to go back to the oldies, the goodies, and I don't know what they be talking about in half of the rap songs. I don't know.
And the songs, they're not sing-along music because you can't, like this, we were able to sing every word of this song.
It seems like
Right.
R&B is not there. It just all these other sounds.
Right.
But R&B, that real rhythm and blues, like the R&B is no longer there, which stinks because where's that good feeling music? I know Usher's still doing his thing, and Usher's Usher. He does come into the new era with rappers, these new rappers, but he does pick good rappers that actually rap well
Right.
into the R&B, But he sounds the same. Did you know he dropped a new album? You must hear it.
Okay.
It's dope.
Yeah,
It's
I
Usher.
did. I heard
believe it.
What do you
about
think,
it.
Kizzy?
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but I hear good things.
I think it's Usher. When I hear him, like, yes, Usher. It's
I
him.
like Usher. I liked his last album.
He hasn't changed. He's still the same OG. And did you see him at the Super Bowl performing, guys?
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah,
That was a
it was good.
throwback.
The wait, when let me say.
With the skates?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, son. Because when I grew up, and Usher, I looked up to Usher. I remember I was like 13 when I first heard him.
Yeah.
And Usher was young himself. I think he was like a teenager. He wasn't even an adult yet when he came out, like
Right.
15, 16. It's crazy. And he had that. He was an entertainer. He
Yeah.
always could dance. That was the dancer that I knew
That's
before,
right.
like Chris Brown and all that. Like
Right.
he was the originator, and he still killed it. And he took off his shirt at the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was like, Usher.
Yeah. Still got it,
said-
baby. Still
I
got it.
said, look at you, Usher. Look at you.
Goodness
on.
gracious! You
been
age
following him.
well.
I've been following him since forever. I love Usher album, especially
Yeah.
one with the Ludacris on it. That song now,
Yeah.
you
That
know.
was,
So
that was awesome.
I think I
enjoyed
got
that.
it in here now.
That's gotta be it for the next commercial break. for
Please
sure.
do, Prince.
Yes,
Big shout out to
indeed.
Usher if he's watching. We gotta tag him.
So, Kizzy, is it required that a man should pay for the first date?
Yes,
Okay.
I said it.
I think this is how I'm gonna be. Let me be real.
Okay.
If he asks her out
Okay.
traditionally, then
Right.
absolutely pay for the first date.
Heck yeah.
And ladies, don't complain about where he taking you.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
That's might be some problem that men say that some women they ain't satisfied. He took us somewhere, but
I kind of get it sometimes.
Chili's.
Do you
and
get it?
I do get it.
Wait,
You
hold on, Daniel. Right now, do you?
I feel
'cause
like
you date.
listen.
right now.
I feel like if you're gonna take the trouble of like taking a woman out,
Yeah.
you should at least take her somewhere that's different. It doesn't have to be expensive, but
Right.
at least a little different. Don't take
Yeah.
her to a Chili's or a
Yeah,
Waffle House
right,
or
right.
a McDonald's or something
Good
like
job,
that. You
Daniel.
know, even if it's like a coffee date. At least do like, hey, let's go to like the park. We can walk around, maybe get an ice cream, and then go to the coffee. And then if things work
That's
out after the
dope.
coffee, then you can go do something else after. You know?
I
Yeah.
like that.
Like, do
It's
something
Here's the
creative.
problem.
But
They're going to complain about that. That's what's been happening. They're complaining about the simplicity of a first date, expecting
Oh God.
something grander. Like, I'm telling you, these ladies are out of control.
And I also agree with Kids in the beginning, like when she said that. I feel whoever on a date
Yes.
is the one that has to pay.
Most definitely.
And then, of course, like Is that how they think right now? Like they got to do something like expensive?
Yeah.
Because
some of them be people, like, man, because.
But it's the first date.
But some people are playing. I don't care. I won't crab. It's just a date to me. He ain't getting nothing no way. You know what I'm saying? And they just trying to
and that's the way they think. That's crazy too.
But I don't know. I date and I have never experienced that myself.
Right.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Thank goodness.
Then again, I don't.
You're picking your girls right, my brother.
It's not just me like
picking
whatever.
Your women right.
But I also feel like you can't just like lead with that either too. And if a female is expecting you to go crazy on the first date, she's tripping.
Yeah,
that's not even worth your time. Like
it's not,
because it's about conversation. It's big.
It's about getting to know me.
Yeah.
Like that's the first date. Get to know me.
Right. See if I want this second date. You know, because right then you should be asking questions and things like that on the first date.
Just getting to know each other.
It's more about this doggone meal.
And let's just keep it real.
And that's my point.
That money for the first date.
Right. That's my point. It's not about the meal. It's not about the meal. The first date is an introduction.
Right.
And you got to take that for exactly what it's worth. You accepted the date and then have a conversation about where you want to go. And a lot of times they expect for him to know. And men don't be knowing.
Right.
And so have a conversation like, hey, what did you have in mind? It's real simple to ask the question. And then you may suggest something, but be realistic is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. Because you don't know a person's pockets. I might want to take you out, but I'm still got pay. I got bills and stuff to pay. So you want to go where? You know what I'm saying? Now the meals is $120 a pop.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And even if the guy does have it, you're just presenting yourself as someone that's just in it for his money.
Right.
So you're immediately putting an impression on yourself that's not going to benefit you in the long run, regardless. Like even if he does have the cash and he does take you to like this crazy nice restaurant, like he already knows what you're about, and then what happens after that is gonna probably not be great for anybody.
I'm just saying, I think creativity and putting effort into it is sexy, and if they don't get that, then they are not worth it. But stop watching Instagram. What do you think this is? An Instagram?
There you go. The other thing.
Go outside, touch some grass.
The other thing that people need to understand and make very clear: are you just dating for fun? Are you dating for being intentional in your dating?
Right.
Because if you're dating for fun, it shouldn't even matter where he's taking you to eat. You just there for the fun.
Right. Yeah.
If you're dating for, intentionally dating to pursue something more serious, then okay, you may want to pay closer attention, but be realistic in your expectations. People make expectations for other people that they themselves cannot meet.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. So the moral of the story is know your person well before you take him on that first date.
Right.
And 90 days. Remember that 90-day rule, 90 days, baby. You can't trick me after 90 days.
Facts.
The real character comes out within 90 days.
And then sometimes after you give a person some, then you're going to really see who the horniness is gone. Now, the represent. Now you're going to really
find out.
So that's why some guys say, go, if you want to know me quick, go and give me some. And then after that, you really know who I am. I mean,
there's some truth to this.
When you do that, it's over. Everybody knows. Let's keep it real. When you do that, it's done.
But now you get a chance.
That dynamic changes.
You're going to get a chance to see who that person really is, because you putting on that real representative, and he be like, man, I can't wait. After this, man, I ain't calling no more. I'm just saying, that's how some dudes think. But, that's the game that they play, you know what I'm saying?
But let's just be clear also. We're not telling women to just completely drop their standards
either.
No. Don't be out here doing, the homosexuals or whatever.
You got to be careful who you messing with out here, because now dating is so crazy. Because dudes can't take rejections. I know. I got one sister said she tell them I'm gay.
They don't care. You look, I've tried that. I was like, I've tried that, and the dude was like, no, you're not.
I like gay. Well, some men, they don't care, but that ain't gonna stop nobody.
Fine, actually, I prefer that.
Oh my God!
If I ever get that, that's when you know, like, dang, I'm out of whole ideas. Like, I don't date. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So she said sometimes that runs them off. You know what I'm saying? But
that's hilarious.
But it's hard to stop somebody that really want to holler.
You know what's a new the new minefield out here in the dating world right now, man? AI pictures, bro.
Really?
Oh my God!
People are just putting AI pictures of themselves up on the bio.
How can we do this?
Yeah.
How's this possible?
There's like a bunch of AI.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
Wait, so
I see it,
they
but
could do an AI image of myself?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and see the thing. Look, I've been accused of AI photos.
No.
These are not AI photos. I look like this. This is me.
They hate him.
So let me say this. Let me say, I'm so confused right now. Yeah. So AI and like photos that are edited by a photographer, or like those are two different things?
Yeah. There's like apps.
AI is computer generated.
Yeah, there's like whole apps right now that will straight up just make pictures, and they can make some pretty dang good pictures of you.
So they're better than a photographer.
I don't know if I take that far.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get him to say that.
They're not. They make you look better.
Hell no.
They make you look better than the photographer. That is what AI does. It makes you look better. I don't have time to play games with y'all. I'm telling y'all what happens. The AI pictures turn you into.
Tell us how we can find you, about your platform, and how we can listen to you and follow you as well.
You can listen to me on YouTube under Conversations with the K and then a Z. You can listen to me on Instagram at It's Keisa Baby. That's Kesa. You can listen to me on Facebook at LaKeisa Dennison. You can find me. Just Google me.
Come on.
I'm here.
We appreciate you.
And she'll be back every
third Wednesday of the month, you guys, at 9:30. You guys tune in with Men Ain't Men, and with our girl Kids. You guys, you guys already see. We keep it hot. This one our hot
yes. Yes. Thank you guys so much. Y'all know what I always say: be good at it, but don't get caught.
Come on.
God bless you, girl. Peace on the street, you guys, with our girl Men Ain't Men, and give it up for Kids. No. Yeah, Miss Angela, I know she rocking over there. Yes. I know that's right. You guys, you are welcome back to Peace on the Streets radio show. I'm your boy, Prince of the Sun.
And your girl, Mimi Malawit.
And your Ava.
And we have a special guest. How you doing, special guest?
I'm doing fine.
Mrs. Angela. I finally got a chance to set it on stage. It took
That's
3
right.
years.
And I was looking at that video today. You did get time. You did get a chance to say that on stage. Yes.
Yes, indeed. So speaking of going on stages, Miss Angela's got one of the biggest stages in America.
Come on.
Her platform is amazing. You all look her up, Miss International World.
That's right.
And 100 Successful Women. She was one of the first, the only woman to take a cruise ship out full of women with pageantry.
Come on.
Out right after the coronavirus.
That's right.
You know how big that was?
Yeah, I was one of the first few.
That was.
You know, so
I was on that journey.
So just letting you guys know, in case you're tuning in for the first time, that we ain't got no Rudy poop. You know?
No nincompoops around our show.
I call it Rudy poop, and Nene call it
nincompoop.
Nincompoop.
See, I know for a fact the East Coast says nincompoops.
Yeah.
I know it, but Rudy poop. What is that? What
That's
is this,
down
Frank?
south. It's the same thing. You're a nincompoop or you're a Rudy poop. Just one or the other.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, it's funny because, you know, I just recently got a new car. You know, it was time to get my 2018 traded in, and it had been an accident, and we did get a settlement on it. So, you know, out working for the dealership, and plus, you know, the veterans discount, we were able to get a good price on a brand new Equinox.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So my other car yesterday, you know, we rotate the cars. I have a 2019 Sonic. So yesterday, now my car, the battery went on the Sonic. So, which, you know, that's typical. Battery can go on any car.
Sure.
Right.
Well, we pay for this OnStar service on a monthly basis, which in the beginning, I have to admit, was fabulous. If you got stuck in a pit, they'd get you out. All right?
Wow.
Okay.
Now, lately, they've been messing up. So they got me so crazy yesterday that I said, I got this girl. I think when she got off the phone with me, I don't know if she was in tears or probably was going to jump in the ground herself. I said, look, you do not want me to call Mr. Air Force One.
I know that's right.
I said, because if I have to get on the phone and call the White House and get Air Force One here, you're going to feel sorry.
Yeah, we're going to shut your whole operation down.
Right. I said, because that eagle's going to be flying, and it will not only pick up this car, it'll pick up everybody around me. I said, so if you don't want me to shut this operation down, I said, you better get that tow truck here now.
Because they don't want peace on the streets on their tail, but we can make it happen. I'm just saying, you better treat that girl right.
That's right. So the minute I mentioned that, I had 5 phone calls from 5 different tow trucks.
Oh, no
Yes,
way.
sir.
I'm really happy to hear this.
Awesome. Wow.
So, yeah, and the funniest thing is I was talking to somebody in the White House the other day.
Oh,
and I said, I normally don't use, I said, my award, I said, or my flyer, I said, unless I really have to. So she says to me, she says, honey, if you get into trouble, just flash that flyer.
That's right.
And I do when I get in trouble. Okay, I said, listen, if you don't do this, you see this flyer?
Yeah.
Just give me a phone because I'm going to be picking up and calling the White House right now.
Now, Miss Angela,
get out of jail.
Explain to our audience what that flyer says.
It says that I was awarded the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations.
And I have to mention the group that put me in, Purpose Never Dies, which is Dr. D. Thompson, because there has to be somebody authorized to do it. So she did that, and we're gonna try to do this year, because it is election year. We are gonna try to do another round of awards.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't do it. We were going to do it in October with the pageant, because we normally coincide it. She normally does one in the middle of the year and then coincides it with me. But she loved the fact that when the last pageant we did on SHIP, Mimi, if you remember, you were in there. We did that presidential luncheon.
Yes, we did. I remember that, and that's very exclusive. Only the ones that were awarded were allowed there.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
Nice.
And then the girls. And I had Mimi in there because Mimi was media.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yes. So it is a very exclusive luncheon. I mean, the flyers, the posters that go up. It really is, okay? And now what we did learn the other day that, the flyer you can use in certain circles, but when you are when you're showing the award, you just have to show, like, your medallion and the award, okay? The president and the vice president's picture you can only show in certain circles, okay? Because
that makes sense.
Yeah, there's some sort of violation. But you could write about it all day long. You could say, hey, I was, but the greatest thing about getting that award is your name is etched in the Library of Congress for life.
Oh, that's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. If you go
official.
There. That's crazy.
Exactly. It is. So I didn't know that until they brought it out during the awards that your name gets etched in the Library of Congress. And, when they had Trevor Noah, doing the award ceremony last year, that meeting, he's mad because he has not got one yet.
Wow.
No way.
What?
That's insane.
No, I got it. He didn't get it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, it's funny because, at that dinner, when he said, well, he said, I know all these people got the awards. He said, and we got Mr. Air Force One there in Florida. He said, I don't have anything. Everybody
oh, my gosh.
Everybody was hysterical. But, yeah, we definitely got to get him on the show. I hear he's kicking around in Florida right now.
Oh, my goodness. Miss Angela, we would love to have him. We got him.
Yeah. We gotta get Chubby Tavares on there. And I'll tell you somebody who you should get on. A very good friend of mine. He's been on Essence Magazine, Jet Magazine. Dr. Rudy Moyes. Now, let me tell you something about Rudy. He was. We made him our Man of the Year several years ago. He originally was born in Haiti, became an American citizen, went into the United States Air Force, retired as a lieutenant colonel, became a doctor and an attorney.
Oh, my gosh. He went to school forever.
Yeah, but he's been on, now, Prince, you got to know Jet Magazine and Essence Magazine.
You better believe it.
He's made the cover. He's made the cover several times on both those magazines.
That's insane. We would love to have him as a guest, Miss Angela, please.
Yeah, I got to get him on the show because the following that this guy has, and he's an actor. He's made, he's been in a couple of big parts in Eddie Murphy's movies.
And and that's nothing to him. After the career he's had, that's nothing. That's probably like his passion just to do it.
Right.
I mean, he's look at his background, his resume.
Yes.
Oh my God! In fact, when we just did the presidential awards last July, he was a recipient of one of the presidential awards.
Sense. Congratulations.
Yeah, it makes sense. But unbelievable. I mean, when I saw him on the cover of Jet and Essence, I said, geez. I said, I used to read those magazines when I lived in New Jersey.
Oh,
I had have him here as a guest.
I had my auntie, she did Jet. She had Jet stocked from the ground to the floor.
No way.
So many books. And, and her daughter, my cousin, Freaka, she would watch you with them books. No, get one book at a time. She was so serious about them Jet books. But auntie had stacks and stacks.
Does she still have them?
Well, auntie passed. But my cousin, he might still have them.
I mean, that's like classics right there,
man. Oh,
man.
yeah, man. The Jet magazine. That was the thing we watched. The Jet. Well, with us, man, we went to the centerfold. They had a bathing suit.
Did they?
So, yeah.
I don't know anything about this magazine.
Oh, yeah. Jet and Essence were, I would have to say, as right up there with Vogue.
That's
right. They were big.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. They were. If you remember, Prince Don Cornelius made the cover of Essence magazine.
Yes, he did. Yeah, Don Cornelius was the guy that was over Soul Train.
Yeah, he made it. He made that, yeah. He made the cover of that several times. Well, they're coming out with a great show, which I probably will go to here in Florida in about 3 weeks. They got the Tramps, okay, with Earl Young. Prince, you're going to love this show. Chubby Tavares, okay?
Okay.
Tavares is coming out. They got the other group that did that song, 10% of something.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, they're gonna be there, and they're gonna do a tribute to Johnny Taylor.
Okay, yo boy.
Yeah, that's right. They're gonna do that, and I am telling you, it is an all-star line. You know what's gonna be on there? The Stylistics.
Come on now. What?
Yeah. This is an all-star lineup.
How old are they?
Yeah.
Stylistics, they've been around. They're in their 70s.
In their 70s.
And still performing.
That's incredible. That's like
the OJs.
And Aerosmith, they're still doing their thing. But that doesn't compare to 70s. But listen, well, 60s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you and Miss Angela were saying, me and Enyo, we don't know.
Okay. Wow. Y'all had no clue.
No, we're just shaking our heads like, who? It sounds great.
Well, how about little Anthony today turned 84?
Did he?
Wow.
Wow.
Bless his soul.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah,
so these guys are touring and they're doing their thing. You guys, I mean, you might not see that again.
That lets you know how strong those artists was back in the days.
Yeah, look at
they're
that.
They're still going on
and they're
tour.
alive, correct?
Yeah, they're still alive.
All of them.
Not all of them. They replace some drop off or whatever. But just to say some of them still.
That's incredible.
There
has to be at least one original in there.
Right, like the Temptations. Well, Temptation got like 3 or 4 different groups because they broke up.
Oh, really?
And they was like, yeah, I'm a Temptation. You're a Temptation, so let's hook up and do our own band. But we're going to call ourselves the Temptations, in which they were. And so that's how the Temptations, it's like about 10 of them. 10
like they switched
spots,
Oh,
yeah,
right?
there's like several groups. Well, on our end, we got a couple of big shows. Of course, Mimi coming up March 8th is International Women's Day.
Come on.
Nice.
Let's do it. Come on.
Hey.
Women.
We got that. And then this year, we are going back to Salsa Fest.
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, we're going back to Salsa Fest, September the 12th. I have told Melina we've been advertising this on the show.
Yes, we have.
She's got a tremendous lineup. I mean, she's got a great. You know who's coming to South Florida doing a show around the same time? Maybe you're gonna love them. El Grand Combo.
Oh wow.
What?
Wow. At the same time.
In the Latin community, El Grand Combo's it.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, that is, Mimi could tell you, that is the group of all groups.
It
El
is.
Grand Combo,
The veterans
yeah.
in the game.
Right. That's what's happening.
Oh, yeah, they are. It seems that somebody is coming back to South Florida to do a show.
Come on.
That's what it is. Well, you know, right now, a lot of people moving to Florida. There are a lot of businesses coming to Florida because of New York. They saying they leaving. They're taking their business to Texas and Florida. A lot of investors.
Why?
Because New York, they saying that they tell them, Miss Angela, you know.
Well, New York, and you know what's really surprising me? Because Eric Adams was a former police officer. Okay. And he became mayor, and when he won mayor, I mean, he won by a landslide. And I don't say that I can't say that he's not doing anything. A lot of it is out of his control, okay? But a lot of it could be in his control. But unfortunately, he's dealing with migrants. He's dealing with crime. Mm-hmm. He's just dealing with a lot right now. And, you know, the governor is, Kathy Hochul's been trying to help him. But now what might help him, and in fact, I was watching the news tonight, and all of a sudden they said, wait a minute, breaking news from the White House. And I think this is something that Joe Biden has to do. It looks like he's going to use executive action without Congress to pass tighter border control. And if he does that, they will not be able to send migrants to different states. And, you know, it's not that they're not saying that they don't want these people here, but you got to go through the legal process.
Yeah, because in other countries, you just can't go over there and do what you want to do.
Are you
in
kidding
other
me?
countries.
If you go over there, they'll kill you straight up. They wouldn't even put you to trial.
I mean,
they wouldn't arrest you. They'll just kill you.
Right. So I mean, that's what they're saying. Not right.
These Relax. No, but it's not. I don't understand why everybody has a process and protocol.
And now here's the thing, okay, which is so ironic. That's why I'm always going over to to see the TSA officers, or I'm always at the immigration office. They're going to build a statue to me there. When I walk in, they go, uh-oh, guess who's here? Well, because with the cruise lines, I got to know what's going on because they changed the laws like we change clothes.
Okay, wow.
And here's the funniest thing. When you come back on a cruise and you got to go through customs with those TSA officers, if they don't like the way you look and you're an American citizen, they will detain you.
Wow.
They will put you in a corner. Last year, when India Davis came here, she came in for International Women's Day, and she flew in. She had her crown and her sash on. They detained her because they thought she was coming in. She was trying to get here to work illegally.
Yeah.
What?
It's what you say that can really detain you. They have a show like this on.
Yeah, it is. I watched it. And some people they coming through customs, and some people have stuff. But
it's very informing, and they tell you how they select these people.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Now that's the ironic part about it. You try to come through customs, even with me. The TSA officer said, take your glasses off. I just looked at him. He says, take them off. And when he says, okay, he says, that is you. And then he looked at my name, and the one guy said, ooh, she probably in the mafia. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Gosh.
But see, that's the ironic part. Okay? They do that, and then you can cross the border illegally.
Yeah.
See?
Unbelievable.
And as a citizen of this country, them TSA officers will think, nothing, I'm stopping you.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't like the way you look. Okay, go over there in the corner. And these guys think nothing about handcuffing you and throwing you in the pound for a couple of days.
Yeah, big shout out to Prince with those sound effects. Come on, Prince.
Well, our time is wrapped up, Miss Angela. Tell us how we can find you and all your stages, so the listeners that's listening in for the first time, how they can find you.
Well, you always can get me on Peace on the Streets every Wednesday night on Instagram. Miss International World, Facebook Miss International World. So we're always somewhere. You can always find us.
That's right, you guys. It's always a pleasure having Miss Angela on. So informative, and we love the things that she does, and she does it for women. You know what I'm saying? So all her pageantry is clean. You ain't got to, because everybody know if you know anything about pageantry, it's dirty. It's been dirty.
Yeah, it can get real dirty and rough.
So, you know, the Houseings of the world.
I can say this is one of the best I've ever been a part of, and seeing it ins and outs. And I've been in and I've been out. It's a beautiful road, a beautiful thing. I've never seen someone that has so much passion for people.
Right.
And Miss Angela does. And when she sees the women's together, she like I see it in her eyes. We hear it. Like I lose my mind because I see how it just. It breaks her because she just loves it. So.
Yeah, especially when it's time to pick the winners and the ones.
But she wants to leave.
Oh man, she was like, because nobody's a loser in her book.
No one is. That's the toughest part. So, and you know, Mimi, this year we might get Copa Airlines as a sponsor.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna change the game. I'm so happy we're doing more and more for these women, guys. I mean, we even ended up on a network show, and we'll release that once it gets released on TV. But that's how amazing this is. The journey's insane, and as she said, everybody's a winner because she blesses you when you're there. Before you even, if you win or not, there's more to the story how she blesses you. And if you want to know, reach out to Miss International World.
That's right.
So come here every Wednesday, guys, Miss International World, for the updates at 10:15 with the lovely
Mrs. Angela. Right
thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Take care. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Peace on the Street Sports Talk, you guys. We bring you the hottest sports topics in the city, you guys. So I'm your boy Prince of the South, and I got my boys with me.
Yo, what's going on? It is Brandon BC here. Glad to be back. Missed you guys last week, but you know it was a special little holiday.
Valentine's Day, man.
Exactly.
Well, no woman letting them man. Hey, man, are you going well? The show.
Exactly. Fantastic times. Hope y'all had a wonderful week off as well. And we got my good friend George Michael in the building. What's going on, man?
Hey, what up, y'all? Appreciate you guys having me back on. I'm pretty excited this morning. I was like, Brandon, what are we going to start talking about? What's up? It's like 6 a.m. And he's like, dude, relax.
I mean, no, go back to bed, dog.
Exactly. We got a lot to catch up with, obviously. So, and then of course we got Inyo in the building joining us as well. What's going on, bro?
What's up, boys? We are doing good. I am joining in for a little bit of time because I absolutely have to talk about the Super Bowl with somebody.
Of course.
All right. I've been waiting 2 weeks for this. I know we're mad late going into it, but man, what a game. A lot of controversy, a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of applause.
A lot of applause because, it was just that good of a game.
It was a great game.
It was a great game. It was actually a great game. All right, but of course, you guys are the sports guys with the NFL, so I want to hear you guys' thoughts, what you guys think about the game. Let's kick it off from there.
I mean, honestly, again, like we talked about earlier, it was close, 25-22, OT. Like, I believe that's the second Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, to go into overtime. Like, drama galore. And then Patrick Mahomes does what Patrick Mahomes does best. Come back. Oh, my goodness. All the music cues right here. No, man, he does what he does best, though. Leading the comeback, leading the Chiefs. And, Steve, I know you're watching at home right now. I called it. I told you. I didn't want to call it. I did not want the Chiefs to win this game. Yeah. Exactly. But I was like, you can't deny how great Patrick Mahomes is, and you can't expect him to lose on the big stage like this.
I thought they were going to fumble it. I'm not going to lie.
You thought so?
Yeah, I thought so, especially at the beginning of the game when there were so many little mistakes going on. You get the interception, you get the fumble. You're like, oh, damn, they looking shaky. But at the end of the day, like you said, man, Patrick Mahomes had himself a pretty decent game. Like, under pressure, like for the moment, he came up big. But I think part of the reason why so many people are having all these conspiracies about the game is because it was such a crazy game, so tight.
For sure.
What's some of you guys' favorite conspiracies about the NFL Super Bowl? All right, I got
George, you take that one, man.
Dude, I think that is big time rigged, man. I mean, the Chiefs in three of their last Super Bowls, they haven't gotten one holding call on the offensive line. Ooh, and that is tough because if you watch the games, and especially this one that they just played the San Francisco 49ers, Nick Bosa got a hold like 4 times.
Oh, for sure. And most of it was done by Donovan Smith, who used to play for the Bucs. And when he played for us, all those calls would have been holds. But the fact that he plays with the Chiefs, he's a great player all of a sudden. Never holds. Get out of here with that.
The referee's got the blindfolds on hard.
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna lie. There's this YouTube channel that I've been seeing that has like compilations of like the Chiefs getting away with murder.
Yeah.
And like the refs just straight up being like, I'm like, damn, I don't know.
Walking around like Stevie Wonder, man.
This is right in front of one of the referees, right in the end zone, a holding that he grabbed him right in the chest, and the guy just went like.
I'm telling you, these
refs
be doing their best Stevie Wonder impression
straight
right
up,
here, man. Like for
straight
real.
Up.
Nah, man. I'd say even bigger conspiracy, man. It's the T Swift conspiracy, man. Like ever since she and Kelsey got together early on in the season, right? Mic drop. Like ever since they got together beginning of the season, like they've been seeing the ratings they've been getting in, the new fans they've been getting in. So it's like, of course, you can't have this storybook ending go off on a sour note. So you got to give the Chiefs the dub.
That's a good one.
Obviously.
My favorite one was that Ice Spice and Taylor Swift are together in a demonic campaign for Biden so that he can get reelected again. That was my favorite one.
Oh my god!
I was like,
I mean, it is funny though. It is funny though. Like
there's so many layers to that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, again, like
It's
looking back,
nuts.
I saw somebody literally like doing all of the things, like Lamar Jackson winning the MVP, like you said, Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and then also too in 2020, Joe Biden winning. So it's like, oh no, it's gonna happen. It's just like, oh my gosh, guys, y'all grasping.
They say another COVID might happen.
Oh yeah.
Last time they were against the San Francisco 49ers, COVID happened the next month.
Please no, I can't.
We're getting a new lockdown, baby.
No,
new lockdown's coming.
Oh,
Shoot.
please
I'm
no.
moving to another country, dude.
And we had it good, dog. We was chilling on that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you think about how bad like California, New York, stuff like that had it for like months where they were locked down. But anyway, dude. Yeah, no, it was a great game, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
I mean,
I can't wait for next year's Super Bowl. I'm already excited.
And I mean, coming off of that though, too, like just looking at some of the questions people are going to start asking now moving forward. I mean, obviously, I think we touched on it a little bit with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but I guess question one for you guys: are the Chiefs a dynasty? 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 or 5 years. You know, does that officially crown them, or do you think they still got a ways to go?
Dude, they're a dynasty, bro.
Yeah.
You got a Hall of Fame head coach who's been to several
Big
Super
Red.
Bowls with several teams. You got a superstar quarterback who, in my opinion, is the greatest ever right now.
Okay.
That just answered my
Over
second
Tom
question.
Brady.
Oh,
Okay,
shoot.
that's
Over Tom Brady.
That's bold.
That's a lot.
And
That's
then
wow.
big words.
The best defense that the Chiefs have ever had in their span of going to the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes, and it's just going to go on from there. I don't know.
True.
I think the dynasty's already here.
True. I would agree, and I would say next year they're looking already like favorites for me to win again. You know what I mean? And they would be the first in history to be able to do it 3 times back to back, right? So
Back to back, repeat.
That would be something. That'd be something, bro. Would that be better than the achievement with New England? Would you think?
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, in terms of like a single accomplishment like that, it's not just New England. It's the greatest 3. It'd be the greatest 3-season run in NFL history. And again, I think it's interesting the way you worded it, George. Like with the fact that they're winning with their defense, something they've never been known for. It's always been Mahomes. It's always been Kelsey. It's always been Hill prior to the last couple of years. But again, the offense was carried pretty heavily this past year. Like again, you just had Kelsey, pretty much the only reliable receiving option, and they still won.
True.
It's incredible. And also, too, shout out to special teams as well. Harrison Butker probably on his way up to being one of the best kickers in the league. Scoring the majority of those points in that Super Bowl, can maybe argue deserves some credit for Super Bowl MVP. Maybe we going that route. We going bold or nah?
Nah.
Dude, I don't
Oh, dang, just me.
I'm not that game.
Just
I'm
me.
not that game. I don't know. I love kicking more than anybody here, but
I thought for sure I'd get your support, man. Come on. Dang. Oh well.
All I know is that was the toughest Kansas City run that they ever been. They went on the road each and every game getting to the Super Bowl against Miami. Miami, they're home in the wild card. But then going to Buffalo, they won against them, and they went to the Baltimore Ravens that had the best ranked defense in the whole league.
Yeah.
And they went over there and they
True.
They still won that game.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it was a great run just leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
facts.
we'll see next year if they are able to do what no other team's done before. And if they do, oh man, I don't know what the NFL is going to do at this point. I really don't know. Every team, every team but Kansas City is going to be absolutely miserable. And meanwhile, I'm just hoping that we don't end up tanking next year. But
true.
That aside, moving on to, I guess, another question. Again, you kind of already answered.
Well, before we just move on to that, let me just say, before I get my butt out of here, now that the NFL season is over, I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of homework. Go watch some Champions League games, all right? Go watch a couple games, you know. Man. It's fun. It's a great sport. And then we can talk about some Champions League games out here. It's going to be a great time.
For you, we'll make that happen.
There we go. You just got to watch the best teams. But anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with some more amazing sports talks with our boy George Michael up in the building.
Yes, sir.
PC.
Yes, sir.
Roll it, Prince.
Back and I'm better.
Yo, what is up, everybody? We are Sports Talk here on Peace on the Streets Radio, back from a fantastic little break in the action here. It's your boy BC. I'm joined by George Michael. George. Yo, we just got done covering the Super Bowl, and real quick, just because you said it during our little discussion, you said that Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. I disagree 100%. It is still Tom Brady. It is his crown. He has not given it up yet. 3 MVPs, 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. Get on his level, and then we can talk. Anyway.
Yeah, man, he ain't ready yet to give up. He ain't won number 2 or 3?
3.
He's got
7, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
7.
He was in the league 21 seasons.
I know.
Mahomes has been there for 6 years as a starter, and he got 3.
Well, get your 7.
Give him some more time. Give him 10 years. Give him 10 years. We'll see where he's at the 10-year mark, and then we're
gonna hit 10 rings.
Hey, if he does, man, I will crown him then and there, man.
He's a bad boy. Not knocking what he does, man. I mean, he's hard to beat. But I'm just saying, it takes level. Sometimes we give people too much credit too fast. Man, you got to come on, man. You can't take the coat. But he's on his way. He keep playing like he will.
He might go right now. He might go right now.
Well, hey, premature crowning aside, we got some good action that happened this past weekend. Some college hoops, NCAA men's basketball. Big upset this weekend. Actually, 2 big upsets.
Definitely.
Can't forget. Got to show some love. But first off, we got the number 1 seeded UConn Huskies fell to the Creighton Blue Jays, 85-66. Big upset, was not expected at all. George, you were watching this game a lot, following a lot. Just kind of want to get some of your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so UConn, they're the best ranked defensive team in the NCAA Division I standards, and they have been playing great defense all year long, except for in this game. In this game, they just couldn't stop Creighton from shooting so many threes. At one point, Creighton was 11 for 18 in threes. They finished the game with 14 and 28 in threes. Gosh. And UConn only made 3 out of 16 3-pointers. The big problem was in the first half, their big man, Donovan Clegan, he got in foul trouble. And what they do with their offense, they love to run the pick and roll with him because he's such a big body. He's like 7'2", like 260, 270 pounds. So when he sets a pick, it's going to be a hard pick on a 20-year-old young man. And, you know, they're not going to be able to get past that. They're going to get locked up on the screen, and they're not going to be able to go over or go under, so they're going to have an open shot. Any of his teammates are going to have open shots. But if he gets in foul trouble, their whole game plan changes, and then you don't have any way of scoring. And if you have no way of scoring and the opposing team is scoring that many three-pointers, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yep. Well, I mean, just kind of moving forward with UConn as well, I believe they have a next game coming up on, I believe it was Thursday, so tomorrow night. So this will be a chance to kind of avenge this loss. But, you know, just kind of going into March Madness and everything like that, do you see this team, do you see like this affecting UConn at all in the rankings at all? Like a whole lot? Do you see them maybe getting knocked out of top 5, top 10? You know, just based on, because I think a lot of people when it comes to college rankings, a lot of times we kind of go based off college football. You see a big upset. You see some people get knocked down like 10 spots. Where do you see that as far as college basketball? Do you see UConn, where do they fall at this point?
I think after that game, they'll probably fall to maybe 3rd, maybe. But it just all depends on how they go on from here. Because if they bounce back, get some revenge, and start winning games going into the tournament, they're going to stay on the number 1 seed. Yeah. And well-deserved, really. They're great defensively. They're great offensively when they're doing their schemes. Yeah. But I don't see UConn falling that low. I don't see them falling lower than 5, but they'll still be a top 5 ranked team.
For sure. And you just kind of see this more as just maybe a hiccup, kind of more of a wake-up game for them, just to kind of snap out of any funk they were in.
Yeah, no, and especially if they're going to address something that happened in that game, it's just foul trouble. Yeah. Stay out of foul trouble, and you guys will be good.
Stay out of trouble, kids.
That's it.
Still literally. Well, covering from one major upset to another, just to kind of cover a little bit more of a local team. I know we got the War on I-4 rivalry, so some of y'all listening out here, if y'all are going to UCF, I apologize in advance, but for everybody else, hey, USF took on number 24 ranked FAU at home at Yuengling Center. Sold-out crowd. First sold-out crowd since I believe someone said 2001. First ranked match for USF in over 10 years. I believe 2012 was the last one. So just big opportunity for the Bulls. And again, they were the underdog in this one. They lead the American Athletic Conference.
And they were at home. That's crazy.
Exactly. But again, it's a ranked opponent. FAU don't play around.
Yeah.
But neither did USF. And it was a close game. It was back and forth. USF barely squeaked it out by 4 in the end, though, won 90-86.
Yep.
It was a big game. A lot of buckets coming from, two guys in particular, Chris Youngblood, senior guard, 23 points, and then Selton Miguel coming off the bench with a clutch 25. Big game for the Bulls. Obviously, you can start calling these guys big game Bulls because they, when the back's up against the wall, they just find a way to deliver. And honestly, giving some analysis on that game, just looking at this game, the way the Bulls kind of play, I guess they kind of style their offense and everything. They run a 4-guard set, and they have 1 forward at, running down the middle, cleaning up everything.
Okay.
And so that's just kind of how they run. It's a very team-oriented approach. Coach Amir Abdul-Rahim he's just changed the culture with this basketball team so much. And it's a very team-oriented mindset. Yeah, they have guys, obviously, that went off in this game. They've had guys that have gone off in other games, Kason Pryor being one of them. A lot of people look to him as like a future star for the team. But they just have, I think the coach is the real star for USF because he gets them to all buy into a system. He gets them to all play together, play selflessly. And I think that atmosphere has just created such a different environment in Tampa and at the Yuengling Center. It's been inspiring to see.
No, and the culture, just how you said, speaks for itself. If you got USF, who are getting so many more free throws than any other team, just what they did against FAU, they made 8 more free throws than FAU did. And if you're telling me that the culture is great going from the head coach down, that means that he's installing in them to be super aggressive on offense. And if they're being super aggressive on offense, they're getting to the free throw line.
Exactly, and it's not just free throws where they had the edge, and they also had a significant advantage in 3-pointers too. Not as much as Creighton did over UConn, but still in a close game, 3-pointers are they can be all the difference. 47-33, and again that also speaks to their defense. Just kind of looking up some of where they were or where they're currently standing at in terms of team offense and team defense. It's not really anything to stand out at. The team, they're about in the upper 100s in terms of team offense, and then defense is in the lower 80s. So it's, it's not anything that you look at and screams, oh my gosh, this is a 20-win team right now that's leading their conference. But they just play together, and they play up to their competition, and they know how to win when it counts, and they win a lot of close games. Yeah. So
no, they could probably make it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe. And I mean, looking at some of their next game or their future game. They just got done wrapping up a game tonight against UTSA.
They won that too.
Yeah, but by 5. And again, you think a win's a win, but it's a little troubling when UTSA is 8-19 on the season. So you don't, I was talking about playing up to your teams. You also don't want to play down to them, and that's something that we were talking about. Come March Madness, they can be all the difference between making a Sweet 16 run and getting bounced in the first round.
Yep.
So just kind of looking ahead to March Madness as well. Obviously, we're a few weeks out from there, but what would you say if you had to make like any crazy, bold, way too early predictions for March Madness? What do you think? Give me one prediction.
I would say look out for Purdue.
Okay.
Purdue, they have a 7'3", 7'4" center who plays defense like a guard. Yeah. He's very athletic. He hustles a lot, and he's very smart on the court. If you watch him play, his IQ is really up there. Perfect at setting pick and rolls. He's great on the post fade away, turn around to the basket, maybe pump fake, drive it in. Purdue's going to be a team to look out for sure. UConn as well, because they're the best ranked defensive team, and I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Yeah, they had a slight hiccup against Kirsten.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think they'll be good. Maybe a dark horse looking into it. Today, I saw Alabama going up against Florida, and what a game that was, bro.
Yeah.
What a game. And Alabama, they're great at shooting 3-pointers, but the thing is, if they don't make them, they're gonna live and die by the 3.
Yeah.
But if they're making their 3-pointers throughout all March Madness, I see them going in as a dark horse.
Well, I mean, they got the best offense in the NCAA too, so it's like it's kind of easy to see why like they just don't miss.
Yeah, no, they really don't. Today they were though. I'm not gonna lie. Against Florida they were, but they still found a way. Went into overtime, still found a way to come out and win it.
So you got Bama being maybe like a Cinderella team with Purdue and potentially UConn and maybe national championship game.
Yep.
We calling that?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll kind of lean a little more into the homer in me. I'm gonna say USF's not only my. You know, we're just going to have some fun. I think at the very least they make Sweet 16 like you were talking about earlier, but it's like, you know what? Let's get bold. Let's Pringles barbecue we got over here. I'm going to say USF national champions.
Oof.
Let's just do it.
That's like me saying national champions. Please, please.
Well, you know, why not? This is the year to just go crazy. It's the year to be bold. Like, why not? Let's just go all the way. And I know some of my friends from USF, y'all listening. I know y'all are happy to hear me say that. USF national champs. Let's just go bold. I'm gonna do it in my brackets anyway, just because it's like I don't know when the next opportunity to do that will be. So it's like you got your team, represent, go bold, take it all the way.
Yeah, I always put winning in one of my brackets because you could do 25 of them. I always have them at least one winning the whole thing.
So, I mean, at that point, we just got done talking about some college hoops. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick little musical break right now. We're going to go ahead and get back into NBA All-Star Weekend 2024. We're going to go ahead and kick it some tunes right now. Mimi and Prince, if you guys want to kick it to our next soundtrack, what we got?
Oh, we got some nice R&B coming up right next. You know what it is?
Let's do it.
In the building.
R&B. I'm about to sing for the streets.
Oh, he's about to drop the track. Let's get it.
Right? We're in the Kia Center.
Yeah.
So they performed here. And the Magic team works these events as well to support Kia.
Yeah.
So when we worked this event, something got leaked from our team.
You heard it here first on Peace on the Streets Radio, baby.
I mean,
Mimi, let them know.
Pour the tea.
So what got leaked ended up a TMZ. And if you got there, you're done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And what got leaked was our team actually showcasing their pre-performance before they got on stage. And the number one rule, guys, in this field, working with any sort of organization, especially the NBA, is never release anything. I cannot take photos of any of the stars, not the players, not even the owners, nothing. And or get autographs. They released it, and they got red flagged, and it ended up on TMZ. Insane, right? Right. So of course that person's no longer here. But I have to let you guys know, like, how deep it is when you work for a huge, professional organization.
Oh, for sure.
What are you thinking?
Exactly. Well, I mean, there's not much thing that goes involved in. You just do, and it's like, okay, well, you keep doing that straight into the unemployment line right there. You've been upgraded to guest.
They're not being careful. You got to be super careful with what you're doing, especially with big-time organizations that have millions of dollars. You got to be careful with what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing as well. Like, when you work for a bunch of teams, like, you can't just go out and say and do all this stuff. Like, you got to be careful. You got to tread lightly. And, it's one of those things, like, where working for it is very cool, and it's an amazing thing. Mimi and I can both attest to it. But it's just one of those where it's like, there's some things that you just don't release. There's some things, like, you just don't. Like, for me, there's lots of times when I'm courtside, and I've seen LeBron James. I've seen Giannis Antetokounmpo. Really cool stuff. I don't go up asking them for pictures and like trying to take selfies with them. No, I just admire the game. I just watch them do their thing, and that's it. That's all you do. It's professional courtesy is what it is.
I mean, we signed a waiver, so I mean,
exactly,
and it says that. It says all of that.
Yeah. I kid you not. Like, the first time I remember ever, I guess, like, meeting a celebrity, so to say, I was working a Rays game, and it was just like, it was a professional wrestler that was there. We were doing a segment with him. I was just like getting him on camera. He was trying to hype up the crowd, and it was just super cool. And I just thanked him afterwards for, being so great on camera. And he was a really nice dude. And that was that. Don't need pictures. You don't need autographs. You don't need all this other stuff. Just treat them like human beings and just be chill. And honestly, that goes a lot farther, I think, than being a super fan.
But people don't know how to be chill. They're in X game mode.
Oh my gosh,
24/7
for real.
I mean, you wouldn't want to lose a good job like that.
I know,
exactly,
100%.
But on a good note, though, guys, they boosted up security.
Oh my gosh, no, please. Oh my gosh, no, that's the last thing I need going into work at Kia Center.
You better get there an hour early. You better get there an hour early.
There now, and there's an event.
Yeah.
They're going to have security in the lower bowl now. And all of us have to stay up until they say we're ready. And that's after they practice.
Ooh, that's rough, man. As long as I can get through the security checkpoint, though, in the employee entrance without getting hounded for my bag anymore. Like, that's all I want anymore. But anyway, shout out to Kia.
Get a clear bag, and they won't do that.
I know. But those clear bags aren't always the most durable, and that's the one thing. I've had so many that have broken in a short amount of time, and it's all good. Shout out to Kia Center, man. We love you guys. Shout out to the Magic. We really love y'all. Speaking of NBA, All-Star Weekend was this past weekend. Honestly, biggest time. Dude.
Sorry.
Okay, that's not a sound effect. That's actually George right there. He was lulled to sleep. You're telling me with all the All-Star...
I think it's the wine.
Nah, man. You tell me with all the All-Star Game festivities that went on this past weekend, dude. The Celebrity Game, the Rising Stars Game. We had Steph versus... Oh my gosh. Steph versus Sabrina in the three-point shootout. That doesn't excite you?
Come on!
Oh, man. He's dogging us right now.
Dude. It's just so many things that are going wrong with the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's just they have how you were speaking to it earlier before we got on the show. They have the most viewership ever.
Yep.
But it goes towards the entertainment side and not towards the game side, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of looking over the game as well, like it was I believe the highest scoring All-Star game in history. 211, 186, East won over the West. But again, just how much offense, how much is too much?
Dude, they shot 163 three-pointers.
Oh my gosh. I think they got a problem. They do got a problem on their hands, man.
No, I think those are the points. I'm sorry. After the three-pointers, I'm sorry.
Still, like that's still a ridiculous amount over. Gosh, what? Let me try to do the math.
The most points ever
by threes
in an NBA All-Star game.
I'm telling you, the NBA's got a problem.
No defense, bro. It's no defense. It's just exactly. Bad.
That's how it looked.
Trash.
Literally.
But guys, real quick, we got to give a shout out to Osceola in the building.
I know, right? Mac McClung winning the 2-time slam dunk contest winner right there. But again, as cool as it was, it just doesn't seem to hit the same as the slam dunk contest of old, though. Am I right?
Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter,
Aaron Gordon.
Should
have won in 2016, but didn't.
Facts.
Should have won.
Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Dominic Wilkins. And then we got G League players in the dunk contest.
You forgot? Didn't you mention Vince Carter?
Yeah.
Oh my! I was about to say. I was like, you better mention VC, man. Vinsanity.
Come on, man.
What? I've personally never seen a G League player and be in there, and to see it come.
Never. This is the first time.
And
I'm sorry. This is the second time because Mac McClung was last year.
Yep.
But he was also a former NBA, correct?
I think he might have played a little bit of time, but
I think they signed him just for that too.
Yeah,
I think the Sixers signed him just for that weekend.
Yeah, and I think the Lakers
had a 10-day
too.
contract or something like that.
Yeah, I think he played like a little bit on the Lakers, but he was like a bench, end of the rotation kind of guy. And to his credit, he's done really well in Osceola with the G League. I believe he's either first or second on the team in points, and he's really stepped his game up. And to be, I believe he's like 6'2" or 6'3", and to pull off some of the stuff he does, he's got crazy hops.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it just doesn't, again, it just doesn't hit like it used to.
Yeah, let me say that those NBA players had a sick look in their face when he made it, like right when he got to the 5.0. Yep. They had a sick look in their face because he's a G League, and I thought that was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's great publicity for the G League, and again, even more publicity for the Osceola Magic, which next home game is going to be Sunday, March 3rd. Get your tickets.
Come on!
We're giving them free advertising right here.
Next week.
Yep, next Sunday. Let's get it. Free advertising. We love to see it.
Love it.
Come on, guys. Support home. I mean, when do we ever get this? Come on.
Where's the game at?
It's going to be Silver Spurs Arena in Kissimmee, off of 192 I-4. It's probably, I would say from Kia Center, it's about a 30-45 minute drive looking like. So it's not too bad. And again, you get to see the future of the league. You get to see
he's just a high flyer.
Yeah.
He just makes it look so good.
Yeah.
No matter what dunk he does, he gets so much air under it that the timing of it is just impeccable to me. It's impeccable.
I think that looking back, a lot of players dunk with grace. A lot of players had speed, power. he just seemed to combine everything all together in that one explosive package. So, I mean, I hate to sound repetitive, but I agree with you. Vince Carter, greatest dunker of all time. And on that note, guys,
breaking news.
Shoot.
Miami FC just won against their opening game 2-0.
2-0. Messi with 2 assists, no goal. Messed up my parlay.
Exactly. But with that being said,
that's going to bring an end to Sports Talk with Peace on the Streets Radio.
Yeah.
Great to have George Michael back and Enyo as well in third chair. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Thank you, Mimi and Prince. Shout out to y'all.
Back, baby.
Let's go. Have a great night. Stay safe, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Let's go.
Peace on the Streets, Sports Talk.